stretch of the conference schedule. It's the first day of February, and there's a thaw in Columbus. The Big Ten women's basketball race is heating up. It's Indiana and Ohio State for the 63rd time. Two of the Big Ten's best meet in a Super Bowl Sunday showdown. Jim Foster's Buckeyes have dominated the series with Indiana of late. Felicia Leggett-Jack has the Hoosiers climbing the conference ladder. Hoosiers and Buckeyes next on the Big Ten Network. From the Value City Arena in Columbus, Ohio, Indiana and Ohio State on the Big Ten Network, two of the very best in the conference. As we look at the standings, you see Ohio State just one loss, that at home to Minnesota. Indiana, two losses, both on the road, Illinois and Minnesota. Michigan State, the hottest team that won 6 in a row, but they've lost at Indiana and Ohio State. Mike Crispino and Teresa Gritz, longtime Illinois coach, and there's something about this home court advantage in this conference. Ohio State here has won 37 of 39 in conference play. They're very tough to beat here.
Mike, and this crowd has a lot to do with it. When you're home, the fans, they cheer your every good move. When you're the away team, they are cheering even louder for your every move.
3 of the top 10 scorers in the league playing here this afternoon. Whitney Thomas, a senior from Bloomington, is an outstanding player.
And she has done this for 4 years. She has been everything for Indiana. She has taken this team with step-out shots. She rebounds the ball for them. She's their heart and soul. She is 20-some rebounds away from 1,000 at 6 foot. Then on the other side, you have Gentile out. She's going to block shots. She's going to kick it out. She's going to knock down shots. She's going to spin. She's going to twirl inside. She is a force to be reckoned with. There's no question about it. She is Ohio State's future.
And a history maker, Jantel Lavender, last year named the Big Ten Player of the Year, the first time a freshman had ever earned that honor. But if her legacy is going to be established here, doesn't she have to help this Buckeye team go deep in the NCAA tournament?
Mike, this team has done very, very well in the Big Ten. But yes, as you said, they need to advance deep into the NCAA tournament for that legacy to be cemented.
All right, Jantel Lavender, the Buckeyes of Jim Foster, go up against Indiana's Hoosier. It's number 1 against number 2 in women's basketball. It's all coming up next on the Big Ten Network. Starting lineups and the opening tip from Columbus after this.
Wednesday, it's another huge doubleheader of conference action on the Big Ten Network. First, Jeff Peterson leads the Hawkeyes against Tom Pritchard and the Hoosiers. Then, the Big Ten title race heats up when Lawrence Westbrook and the Gophers battle Raymar Morgan and the Spartans in a showdown at the Breslin Center. Coverage starts with the Auto Owners Insurance Tip-Off Show, Wednesday in high def, only on the Big Ten Network.
Before they shine on the field, they have to sign. Dave Revson, Jerry DiNardo, Glenn Mason, Chris Martin, and Howard Griffith break down the recruiting efforts for all 11 schools.
But what's been most impressive to me is the fact that they brought in so much speed across the board. When you talk about being able to come in and put your mark, your identity on a program, he's getting that done.
And talk to the coaches about the newest additions to their programs. The Football Signing Day Special, Wednesday, only on the Big Ten Network.
Welcome back to Columbus, Value City Arena, the home of the Ohio State Buckeyes, ranked 14th in the country. Their cheerleaders ready to go on Super Bowl Sunday. Their starting lineup includes, among others, some outstanding players. Amber Jackson, the senior, one of 3 senior starters, 5th in the Big Ten in scoring. And the Indiana coach, Felicia Leggett-Jack, is a Syracuse player, assisted at Michigan State, head coach at Hofstra.
Has done very, very well, Mike. She's really started to, she has these people believing in what she wants to do. They're trusting her.
Yeah, 15 wins so far this year, 15-4. As for the Ohio State Buckeyes, they've got a quarterback on the floor, and Samantha Perhalis out of Comac, Long Island, just a freshman.
And playing very, very well. Really, she makes this team go. And Coach Foster loves these East Coast guards. He says the Philly guards, they set the table. The New York guards go to the cup.
He's the 9th winningest active coach in Division I, one of 13 with 650 wins. Now, time for the keys to the game on Super Bowl Sunday. So a little football flavor, Teresa Gretz.
And they want to know who's tougher in the trenches. Obviously, this is a game that's going to be played in the paint a little bit. Who's going to come out on top? Defense wins. We have two high-scoring teams. Somebody's got to be able to defend. And, of course, it's Super Bowl Sunday, Mike, so who's going to be the superstar of this game this afternoon?
We will find out as the Buckeyes and Hoosiers, who split 2 games last year. Ohio State winning at Columbus, 71-59. Indiana won an overtime thriller, 69-61 in Bloomington late February. And so they split the last 2, but here in Ohio State, it's been dominated by the Buckeyes. They lead the overall series 42-20. Indiana hasn't won here since 02, late January, and that one they set a Value City Arena record for three-point shooting. They went 8 for 10 that day in winning the ball game.
You have all these fans, and on top of that, they're draining threes on you.
So Ohio State, Trebilcock with it, the senior, 1 of 2. Star Allen called for a traveling violation to kick it off.
Indiana has to come in here today. You know, they're trying to build a tradition. They're a senior-laden ball club. Ohio State, on the other hand, they're a younger club, but they're playing on a tradition that's already been built for them.
Much expected with Ohio State women's basketball, no question. Here the hard drive and a left-handed shot is way off target that time by Jamie Brown. Here come the Buckeyes.
And they love to run. They like to get it out, kick it, and run.
Hallis running things. Gets it in the high post to Allen. The shot off the rim right side, rebounded by Brown.
And you got to love Brown. She gets in there, she hustles. Size head means nothing in this one. This is about heart.
Both these teams among the top in scoring in the league. Nearly 70 a game.
And they'll put it up. They'll score it.
No score as of yet, but Ohio State at 69 points a ball game. Indiana just a couple of fractions below that. Michigan State scores it well as well, and they're the top 3 teams in the league. There's no coincidence to that.
Indiana's going to take it to the glass, and they're going to challenge. And right there, you're either going to end up with Lavender or you're going to end up with Star Allen. They're going to say no, not in our house.
Star Allen is a senior from right here in Columbus. Big block on the inbound.
And that's a good sign from the official side that they're going to let them play.
Brown dribbled it off her own foot, and a careless turnover that time by Indiana. They're 8-2 in the conference, 15-4 overall.
They've had a great, they've really gotten out well, and I have to credit Coach Jack for her philosophy with these young women and teaching them to transfer the skills of basketball into life.
Here's Lavender for a jumper. That's off the front rim. Kicked around, and Allen comes up with it. Still no score, minute and a half in.
That's that size of Ohio State inside, but trust me, Indiana's not going to back down.
Ohio State's great tradition, 17 NCAAs. Allen on the reverse, that goes in and out.
What a great pass by the freshman point guard.
Quickly ahead, Kim Roberson with it along the baseline, and the loose ball knocked out of bounds off Ohio State.
If our viewing audience has not seen Ohio State play, they will enjoy this point guard, Sammy Perales out there. She just she sees the floor well. She distributes, very, very unassuming, but until she crosses the line to play the game.
Jump shot good in the first bucket of the ball game by Whitney Thomas, who we talked about at the top of the broadcast. She averages almost 13 a game.
And she's their senior, so you know, they're going to go the way she goes.
So man-to-man defense to begin with for Indiana. Here's Trebilcock, nearly lost it, recovers. 14 to shoot. And a dump down pass to Star Allen, and she's fouled. And the bucket counts as Amber Jackson just a half step slow that time defensively.
I wasn't sure if that was a pass or a shot from for Star Allen, but she finished. One shot.
So Allen, who last year was off the team for a short time, did return late in the year. Her senior season, averaging 9 points a game. That one rims in and out.
Missed free throws are enough to drive you. Drive a coach nuts. There's such great opportunities.
And Ohio State shoots them well at over 76%. And now, let's see if it's an offensive foul.
They got the call.
Jackson. That's her second.
Right here. I think Coach Foster was looking for it right there, but then on the screen. They call it on this screen. The offensive foul.
Lindsay Enterline.
And Lindsay Enterline has to come in the ballgame quickly. Enterline, just a freshman out of Monroeville, Indiana.
Her sister Lee played on this Indiana team, a terrific player. She's following in that Enterline basketball tradition.
And a baseline jumper, back rim, rebound by Brown. She's on the run. They have some numbers. And on the low post, able to kick it out. So new shot clock.
Ohio State's right up in their face.
A spin move inside.
Great play.
Whitney Thomas.
She challenged Lavender, and there's Lavender on the run, on the break. Talked about it in the open. There she is.
Lavender, great run that time. Ties it at 4.
Whitney scores inside. Lavender breaks down the floor. Got to get back.
This is Jory Davis. Tough shot, air ball. A little contact there.
I think these officials are going to let him play. There's a great pass by the freshman, picked off though by Indiana. She sees the floor so well. Her teammates have to be ready. I'm sure they probably got smacked a couple times with some quick passes.
And now near steal as Brown comes up with it, recovers, gets it into the front court, barely.
There's good pressure by Ohio State right now on these guards. They've taken quite a bit of time off the shot clock. They've got it down to 10.
Now Brown's
looking for something.
They get a 3, and it's good.
Who was it again? Whitney Thomas.
Whitney Thomas has done it all so far. Indiana leads 7-4. So Perhalis will set up the offense. Chevelle Little, outstanding defensive player. Handing to Trebilcock.
Very, very quick.
And a whistle down low. Foul called on Ohio State. Chevelle Little is whistled for. So an early good start by Indiana. Whitney Thomas doing it all. She's got all 7. The Hoosiers by 3.
After a long discussion with my friends and my family, I've decided to sign with the Cleveland Browns, baby.
LeBron James is done in the sports world.
LeBron electrifies football.
Unbelievable. Yeah,
LeBron, you gonna miss the bus.
LeBron,
Wake up. Everybody's on the bus.
when I'm there for the best day of the week, State Farm's there.
Let's go.
Before the ball goes up, you have to watch the Auto Owners Insurance Tip-Off Show. Our experts offer their take on the day's big matchups.
That's why I love this game, because you never know who can beat who.
And tell you the keys to success for your school.
They understand if they run this system right, they'll get shots and they'll win games.
Plus, go behind the scenes and inside the locker room for exclusive features and interviews. The Auto Owners Insurance Tip-Off Show, Wednesday, only on the Big Ten Network.
We're all wondering about tomorrow. We have questions. We want answers. What will tomorrow bring? Who can you trust to guide you? Today, more than ever, people are turning to the Wall Street Journal. Right now, you can get the critical insight and perspective only the Journal can offer for $2.69 a week, 60% off the regular rate. Call 800-240-9152 or go to trywsj.com. The Journal, just $2.69 a week. Pick up the phone. Call 800-240-9152 to subscribe to the Wall Street Journal.
Mike, in the top of the show, we talked about Lavender breaking down the floor. You're going to see her right here on the court. The ball's entered. It comes in here to the point guard. She gets the half court. And already our center, she's going to let this thing go. And our center right down here in front of everybody else. She's going to take this thing up and score.
Jensen Lavender, wide receiver-like. Catch that time. It's not easy on the full run to make that catch and lay it up.
On Super Bowl Sunday, anything's
Perfect.
possible.
Perfect. Good start by Whitney Thomas. All 7 points for Indiana. Her brother Kyle, by the way, offensive lineman at Indiana University. This is Samantha Perhalis, who likes to get pumped up by giving herself some messages.
She's got all kinds of notes on there. We have to call somebody at Nike to see if we could add to that. Stay strong, different, too.
She's had quite a start as a freshman. in the Big Ten, no question.
She really has. She's done great things. And she's the type of player that if you're a fan, you'll love to watch her play the game.
She's 12th in the country in assists with 6 assists.
Sees the ball, sees the floor so well.
Now on the run, Kim Roberson deals it over to Brown. Good matchup there with Chevelle Little. Baseline drive, contact, no call errors. I got it.
Here you are, Mike.
I had the good hands, you saw that.
Right there, you had it.
The difference is you would have passed it, I would have shot it.
No,
as
Mike,
soon as
I don't pass to anybody.
We're here courtside at the Value City Arena. Perfect spot to watch a game on the Big Ten Network. Glad you could join us. Mike Crispino and Teresa Grenz, the former Illinois coach. Long-time international experience as well, which I hope you're going to tell us about as we go along here. I want to know about places I've never been around the world that you have been.
Mike, some of those places. Again, good pressure by Ohio State. Indiana wants to drive. They want to drive. This is their game right there. Ooh.
Wow, missed it. Good penetration, but couldn't get it to go.
Indiana's going to, they're going to set you up, and then they're going to drive to that basket. They're going to take everything they have. Here, Jamie's got a good look at it. Probably needed to use the backboard, maybe.
First of 2 meetings between these two. They'll do it again in about 3 weeks at Assembly Hall, February 22nd. And the way this conference is going, Little's drive short, rebound Allen.
You're letting them play, Mike.
And there's a blocking call on Prohalis.
We're going to hear from the coaches on this.
Ohio State foul number 21, Samantha Prohalis. State foul number 2.
Thinking maybe somebody got hacked in there. Maybe start when she goes back up right here, but.
Got to pick your spots if you're going to create contact. That time Prohalis called for first.
But I like the way the officials are calling them. Let them play. We talked about being tough in the trenches. Go after it. Who wants it more?
Well, you know when you have 2 top teams in the conference, you're going to have extra energy and extra enthusiasm, and there's going to be some bumping.
And this game's for #1 in the conference.
Long 3-pointer off the back rim that time.
Bottles on shot.
Lindsay Enderline got the rebound. And the Hoosiers will reset.
And Kim Roberson will play point guard for him. She was Defensive Player of the Year in the Big Ten last year. And will step out and play the point. And again, they're driving that baseline.
And it's deflected out of bounds. It'll be Indiana's ball with 15 seconds to shoot. They've got 3 losses, the Hoosiers, on the road. Middle Tennessee, Minnesota, and at Illinois. That was a bit of a surprise as Illinois has been struggling.
Indiana had that great win over Purdue, and they had 3 games in 1 week, and I think they might have just been a little short with their legs and things they have in the Illinois game. But Illinois played very, very hard.
Well, earlier lost a tough one to Xavier, a 3-point game, 62-59.
Indiana will not back down. Trust me, they will play with everything they have.
Little did not take that little 10-footer. Instead gives to Allen and fouled from behind by Jory Davis, the sophomore from Rochester.
She just nicked her from behind.
Indiana foul number 32. First team foul number 3. 2 shots.
There's the drive by Little.
Indiana, they tried to get that the trap down there in the baseline. They just let her out. That drives coaches nuts too when you go for the double team. You let them out.
So on the line, Allen has the first. Andrea McGirt comes in, a sophomore from Atlanta. She'll get into the game for Indiana. Ohio State making personnel move as well. Both free throws good. Is in for Ohio State is Brittany Johnson, the sophomore from Illinois.
And a terrific high school player.
And Brown with a banker on the run. Tough shot.
Again, dribble penetration.
9-6 Indiana. Trabilcock to fire at 3. No good. Tipped up. Allen got it. It's Johnson for the jumper. No good.
Great box out inside by Kim Roberson on Lavin.
Nearly stolen away. On the run and able to get it to go. A nice move by Kim Roberson. 11-6 Indiana. Indiana in attack mode and leading by 5 early. And they got another steal. And a double dribble preventing Andrea McGirt from getting the dues. Big Ten Tonight is your ultimate source for all things Big Ten. It's a nightly show for highlights, analysis of all of today's Big Ten action, interviews, and so much more. Big Ten Tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 Central, only on the Big Ten Network. Check with your local listings for the time and place in your area. The Big Ten Tonight, though, you got to have that if you want to keep up with the conference.
Mike, I like right now, you know, in that last series, Indiana came out, Coach Jack came out, they double-teamed the point guard up on top. Give him a little different look, caused the turnover, they just couldn't convert on it.
So Sarah Schultz is in the ballgame. Here's number 43, gives to Lavender, turns and shoots and hits. Lavender with a quick release.
And her arms are so long, Mike, that when she plays above the rest of the players. Definite advantage, Ohio State.
Going to the bench. This time Jim Foster has brought in Moeller off his bench. Maria Moeller, the junior's in, but timeout as Jim Foster talks it over with Star Allen. Indiana with an 11-8 lead. 11:44 left here in the first. Jamie Brown and the Hoosiers off to a good start.
Hi, may I help you?
Yes, I hear Progressive has lots of discounts on car insurance. Can I get in on that?
Are you a safe driver?
Yes.
Discount. Do you own a home?
Yes.
Discount. Are you gonna buy online?
Yes.
Discount. Isn't getting discounts great?
Yes.
There's no discount for agreeing with me.
Yeah, I got carried away.
It happens to me all the time.
Helping you save money. Now that's Progressive. Call or click today.
Every week, relive the drama on the Big Ten's greatest game. It's all heat. The legendary stars. The incredible slams. The amazing performances. And the unforgettable finishes. Catch all the great action only on the Big Ten Network.
Gymnastics on the Big Ten Network. Set your eyes on the grace and skill of the conference's top performers as they look to nail down victory for their schools in critical meets. All season long, only on the Big Ten Network.
Wednesday, it's another huge doubleheader of conference action on the Big Ten Network. First, Jeff Peterson leads the Hawkeyes against Tom Pritchard and the Hoosiers. Then, the Big Ten title race heats up when Lawrence Westbrook and the Gophers battle Raymar Morgan and the Spartans in a showdown at the Breslin Center. Coverage starts with the Auto Owners Insurance Tip-Off Show Wednesday in high def, only on the Big Ten Network.
BigTenNetwork.com. News, videos, highlights, and so much more. It's Big Ten Country online.
Mike Crispino, Teresa Grens back in Columbus. Jim Foster's led the Buckeyes to 4 straight Big Ten titles, a co-title last year. And, you know, if you're the only road team, you come in this place, it's hard to win. We know that. You get off to a good start, though, like Indiana has, and that's a good way to get yourself going against the Buckeyes.
Trust me, Mike. Coach Foster was talking to his team about shot selection in that last huddle. He wants them inside. They're settling for outside jumpers right now.
Well, Indiana's been aggressive on the defensive end, and they have been able to turn the Buckeyes over, and they do it there. So early on, aggressive work. Isabel Little in quickly for Brittany Johnson, who had a couple of minutes off the bench.
Again, he's looking for that inside. And on the other hand, you have to give Indiana an awful lot of credit because Coach Jack is showing some different little looks each time. Little nuances to keep Ohio State off track a little bit.
7 turnovers by Ohio State early on here. We're just 8 minutes into the ballgame. Here's Enterline, low post. 10 to shoot. Andrea McGirt has it. It's Jory Davis. Difficult shot, Davis! In your face with a mid-range jumper, and it's 13-8 Indiana.
Again, the trap up on top.
Morales nearly turned it over, regains. They're putting some pressure on the freshman.
I don't know if we can get a look at the way she handles the ball, Mike, but it's so low to the ground. It's
Lavender ran over Interline. Grajales deep in the corner. It's good for 3.
She thought maybe that she might have been pushed out of bounds there by Davis.
2-point ball game. On the drive, a little jump hook. Off target that time by Whitney Thomas. Buckeyes have it. Morales running, threw it away. Deflected out of bounds by the Hoosiers.
Ohio State loves the baseline. They will pass across the bottom of the baseline. A lot of people go out across the top. Jim Foster is known to make those passes on the baseline, across court. There he hits his point guard, nails a 3.
Maria Moeller working to Chevelle Little. Baseline drive in traffic. Air ball and a rebound. Taken down by Kim Roberson. Roberson, who averages 4.5 rebounds a ball game. And Indiana keeps the pressure on.
Lindsay, she knocks one down there and gets hit afterwards. There's a lot of contact in this game, which I like.
Lindsay's averaging just 2 points a ball game, 12 minutes off the bench.
That's a big one for Indiana right there in transition.
Lead by 4.
There's a triple team down inside on Lavender, which gives Schultz a chance to rise. Recognized it. Nice move.
Schultz with a nice move, cutting inside without the ball. And the sophomore from Anna, Ohio, has her team within 2. Now Ohio State dropping back into almost a zone look.
Little matchup. A lot of contact inside.
Corner jump.
Knocks it down.
Jory Davis, 33% three-point shooter. Gives Indiana that 5-point lead again, 18-13.
Into the post, double team. Schultz reads it.
They're going to give Little that shot. He didn't take it. Well, Little hasn't made a three-pointer all year.
What a great dish from the freshman. She never took her eyes off where her center was. Never took her eyes, knew right away.
18-15.
Number 23, Jamie Brown, back in for Ohio State.
Tomorrow night it's women's conference basketball again in the barn. Michigan State takes on Minnesota. Coverage 8 p.m. Eastern only on the Big Ten Network. Michigan State, the Spartans, just 2 losses in conference. Minnesota, who just pulled off a big upset here in Columbus. That should be a good one.
Again, the penetration, but great defensive pressure by Little.
Indiana has 4 turnovers so far. Jim Foster came from Temple University.
Yeah, Philadelphia guy. Philadelphia.
Had a lot of success. 86 and 21 in Big Ten play, and now a timeout called by Felicia Leggett-Jack.
30 seconds.
It's a 30-second timeout.
And you know, I watched Jim's shoot around this morning, and I like the way he coaches because there's actions, and there's an inbounds play right there. They're defending it, go through, walk around, you talk about that. But what happens is he just decides there's nothing his team hasn't seen. These are the actions. This is how we're going to defend them. Defend them. And that's exactly what they did there, causing Indiana to have to take a timeout. That's a great play. That's something that could come back later on.
And help the Buckeyes, no question. Well, we go back a couple of weeks. Minnesota came in here to Value City Arena and was able to beat the Buckeyes. First time that had ever happened, and you can see
that's a good win for
the
Pam
Golden
Morton.
Gophers were fired up. And Pam, good win for her.
The key is to be able to make those wins, create those wins, and then win the next one.
A foul by Star Allen on the drive. That'll put Jory Davis on the line. Indiana, so far, 8 of 17, 47%. Here's another look.
Star Allen, her first, team foul number 3.
Now here's where you're talking about consistency. Now the first couple minutes of the game, that kind of contact, no call. Now we call it. And you can see Coach Foster over there, he's talking about that, and I can understand where he's coming from. This is where, if you're going to call it in the beginning, and that's how we're going to call the game. Otherwise, if you're going to not call it, that's how we're going to play.
So Indiana, which is 9th in the conference in free throw shooting at under 69%, 1 of 2 that time for Davis.
Now we have a little more pressure here, full court pressure by Indiana. Again, another look.
Bowler pounds it down on Lavender and stripped.
She put the ball on the floor, Mike, with at least a triple team.
Kim Roberson has got 47 steals coming into this thing. She is very quick with the hands. So the Hoosiers holding a lead of 4 with under 8 minutes to go, and Lavender rejects that.
And again, they want to take the ball and drive it to the basket.
Timeout on the floor. Indiana 19, Ohio State 15. With the Buckeyes starting to assert themselves.
Don't miss the Women's Hoops Showcase on the Big Ten Network. At 7 Eastern, Lisa Cornwell takes you inside the conference on the Big Ten Women's Show. At 7:30, get ready for the night's marquee matchup with the Big Ten Tip-Off Show. Then at 8, it's game time. 2 of the Big Ten's best square off when Alyssa DeHaan leads Michigan State against Emily Fox and the Gophers. And after the game, Big Ten Tonight has news and highlights. The Women's Hoops Showcase, tomorrow, only on the Big Ten Network. The one show that covers everything Big Ten. Big Ten Tonight. Get news from people dialed into the conference all week long.
This is a team who knows what it takes to win.
Exclusive interviews.
We played really well, and we got to win, so I think we give our confidence.
And expert analysis of the games and matchups that matter to you.
Oh, I think you can see where this team can go in the Big Ten.
The only nightly sports show dedicated to the Big Ten. Big Ten Tonight. Only on the Big Ten Network.
Back in Columbus, Indiana with a 19-15 lead. But there's some other games going on later on today down in Tampa. Andrea Walker is a Pittsburgh native, junior for Jim Foster's Buckeyes, so we wondered who she might be rooting for in that other game being played. A wild guess.
That's fun.
Hi, my name is Andrea Walker. I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I've been a Steelers fan my whole life. My favorite player is Willie Parker. After today's game, I can't wait to get home with my family and watch the Steelers game. Go Steelers.
All right, Andrea Walker, and she knows her football, too. Willie Parker is a big part of the Steelers lately. If they can run the ball, they're going to win that game, I think. We'll see.
Mike, who are you rooting for in that game?
I don't have any rooting interest. If the Giants aren't in it, I can't pay attention.
Oh, I can't go with the Giants.
But you're disappointed. The Eagles were supposed to be there.
Oh my gosh,
what happened?
I don't know. In our man cave at home, which is Eagle Green, there's a big black ribbon. Carl and the boys.
Tell me, you thought, like everyone else in Philadelphia, the Eagles are going to be in this game.
Now, wouldn't that be great if it was an all-Pennsylvania Super Bowl?
Yes, and that man would be happy as well. Jim Foster from the Philadelphia area. Assisted by Deb Black at Baldwin. Well, Indiana's gotten off to a good start here, playing well.
Playing very well.
Whitney Thomas, jump hook, and she got the roll. Wow, Whitney Thomas.
She is doing it for Indiana today, and that's delightful to see.
Rosales with it. This is the biggest lead of the ballgame for Indiana, 21-15. We've got Ohio State back on their heels a little bit. Here's Little with a nice drive, and she reverses it in and out.
Oh, Mike, that's 2 they've had so far on there. The little reverse layups that have gone in and out.
So the Hoosiers headed toward the 7-minute mark with the lead.
And again, good move.
Shot just off target by Jory Davis. And here's a steal. Bowler picks it off. Gives back to Brown. Jamie Brown.
The Indiana bench is enjoying this one right now. A great play by their seniors.
Lead the Buckeyes by 9, and another timeout. Jim Foster wants a 30.
30-second timeout.
And Indiana attacking from the opening tip leads by 9.
Look at their players right now. 56% for Jackson. Lavender's 53. Hamlin over here at 52. But you take these top 2. These are why these 2 teams are playing for number 1 right now, because they are shooting great, shots. Good percentage shots. That's why they're also leading in the offense in the league. But today, right now, it's Indiana taking it to the bench.
Ohio State was second in the league in scoring defense behind Wisconsin, but right now they're having some troubles contending with Indiana. They're 10 of 21, the Hoosiers.
Indiana's doing a great job with the double teams down and low, keeping Ohio State away from those easy buckets. They're 6 of 16 from the outside. Indiana's 10 of 21.
Rosales has been contained to some degree so far. There's Lavender to fire the jumper. Rimmed in and out. That's the third one that was seemingly all the way down the cylinder but came back out.
This is the kind of game, as this goes on, it gives Indiana more and more confidence.
Hoosiers are playing with no fear right now here in Columbus, and they call it traveling violation.
Too many little spins, but good effort. Good effort by Davis.
Here's a look at Felicia Leggett. Jack, he said former player at Syracuse, been in the Big Ten as an assistant at Michigan State, leading this Indiana program, and that's not easy. You're coaching in a place where the men's program is such a great tradition.
And you know what? She's doing a great job. She's getting the fans out there. I saw their Purdue Indiana game. Great crowd.
They had over 4,000 for that one.
They're playing for number one.
No time left. Rosales banks. No good. Didn't catch the iron.
No, it didn't hit the rim. They're going to shot clock violation.
And Indiana can extend a 9-point advantage.
And Coach Voss is looking to see what combination, who are his players right now that can get this done. What is the 5? On the other hand, Indiana, they are doing exactly what they want to do, both defensively and offensively.
Kim Roberson, pull up, no, off target, chased her own rebound down. And doubled up there, tied up. The possession arrow stays in favor of Indiana.
Like Indiana, several times tonight, they have followed up their shot. This is not unusual for Indiana. This is a great play. This is a trait of their coach. Hustle, determination. They may not have great size, but they're going to fight you all the way to the end. That's a tribute to their coach.
10 turnovers in the ballgame by Ohio State, and Indiana's taken advantage. They've scored 10 points off those turnovers as the officials discussing. I think what the shot clock's supposed to be at.
I like what Indiana's done defensively. They've shown some different looks where they've used the full court press, they use the half court trap, they've trapped the point guard, they've double team, triple team down inside. They've got a lot of little different looks that Ohio State has to adjust to every single time.
It's the 44th year of Ohio State women's basketball. We mentioned 17 times to the NCAA, so very much one of the great programs in women's hoop. Now here's a look. The shot was taken with 17 seconds left. The rebound was, well, they reset the clock. That's what happened.
Right
but you know what? They're going to give them 30 seconds anyway. The shot clock's at 28 here on the inbounds. Davis in traffic. No good. Got her own rebound. No good.
They're going to keep fighting. Put them back.
Kim Roberson, rather, on that putback. Brittany Johnson, they work to Trebilcock, who hasn't been really involved yet.
They had Allen in the post. Ohio State just looks a little discombobulated to me right now, Mike.
Rosales feeds Lavender, and a foul called on Kim Roberson. Rosales trying to pick up the pace of the ball game for the Buckeyes. They trail by 9.
And if you're defending this point guard, you better know where everybody is, because she's watching. You see her eyes. She never takes her eyes off the rest of her teammates, and she's going to dish it back.
So Lavender on the line, and the first one good. Lavender averaging over 21 a game, 11 rebounds.
Mike, there's a stat we read that she's the only Division I player who's in the top 10 in the country, both scoring and rebounding. That's a pretty fabulous stat, if you think about that. With all the players in this country.
Ohio State now 4 of 5 from the line. They trail by 7. Whitney Lindsay gives up to Jamie Brown. Brown cuts inside, deals it off in a nice pick and roll, and a block shot. And a great second effort by Whitney Thomas. She has been tough this afternoon.
And how many times was that shot blocked? Knocked back, and they just went after it again and keep putting it up.
11 points in 16 minutes for Thomas. Now Lavender cuts inside.
And
Missed it.
Allen.
Allen with the offensive
That's what you want. Right there, that's that double power of Ohio State. The ball is not dropping for some of their better players right now, so they have to keep playing. But trust me, Indiana will.
First field goal in almost 5.5 minutes for the Buckeyes. They go back door. Brown missed the layup. Oh, what a nice feed for Whitney Thomas.
Set her up, set the defense up really well.
Rajales pull-up jumper, no good. Rebound, Allen. Powers it up and in.
Allen has got the last 3 offensive rebounds, the last 2 resulting in baskets for Ohio State.
Jory Davis will work the perimeter to Whitney Lindsay, and here's Whitney Thomas. And the Buckeye crowd getting into it. Shot well short, chased down by Ohio State. They got some numbers. Perhalis feeds on the break. Shot missed.
Again, and Indiana is all over this floor. They shot the ball. 3 of them charged in there for the rebound. Definitely Ohio State has the advantage number-wise. They go in the break, they miss it, and sure enough, there's 3 more Indiana players to help back.
Oh, bad turnover there. Perhalis running in the open court with Lavender. Goes up, knocked down, foul call. Perhalis has a special kind of energy.
There's no question this is a physical game, Mike, but a great game.
Timeout on the floor. Indiana by 5. Big Ten's top run at stake here in Columbus. Back on the Big Ten Network.
How much sugar is in these energy drinks? Let's find out. While waiting, you should know. 5-Hour Energy contains 0 sugar and only 4 calories. Its blend of B vitamins and amino acids can help you feel awake, alert, and productive for hours without the crash or jitters. The answer is 12. Over 12 teaspoons of sugar and 200 calories in these energy drinks. 0 sugar and 4 calories in 5-Hour Energy. There's a reason people choose 5-Hour Energy 2.5 million times a week. 5-Hour Energy. Hours of energy now, no crash later.
I am a leader. I'm a woman. I'm a basketball player.
She is going to nail that every time.
I'm a role model. I am a shot blocker.
I'm a playmaker. Great find, good pass.
I'm a student athlete. I'm a competitor. I'm a scorer.
Lavender laying it in.
I'm a fighter. I'm a champion. I'm a Hoosier.
I am a Lady Lion.
I'm a Wildcat.
That's beautiful basketball right there.
Get to know me. Get to know me. Get to know me.
Wednesday, it's another huge doubleheader of conference action on the Big Ten Network. First, Jeff Peterson leads the Hawkeyes against Tom Pritchard and the Hoosiers. Then, the Big Ten title race heats up when Lawrence Westbrook and the Gophers battle Raymar Morgan and the Spartans in a showdown at the Breslin Center. Coverage starts with the Auto Owners Insurance Tip-Off Show, Wednesday in high def, only on the Big Ten Network.
Gymnastics on the Big Ten Network. Set your eyes on the grace and skill of the conference's top performers as they look to nail down victory for their schools in critical meets. All season long, only on the Big Ten Network.
We're all wondering about tomorrow. We have questions. We want answers. Today, more people than ever are turning to the Wall Street Journal. Get critical insight for $2.69 a week, 60% off. Call 800-240-9358 or go to trywsj.com.
Indiana's defense right now, you'll see them right here. They're set up. They're going to play a little soft, waiting for Ohio State to come to them. Ohio State would like to take this inside. They use that ability in the gap. But Indiana's saying, okay, we're slaying back, we're waiting. And that's causing, I think, a little bit of a problem here for Ohio State. And they're going to settle for outside shots. They're going to settle for jumpers. There's nothing inside. You can see it down here. Here's your center out here taking these shots. Unfortunately, they're 3/4 of the way down and out. It gives great, great momentum to Indiana.
So Perhalis on the line versus an 81% free throw shooter. Able to get 1 of 2, and it's a 4-point ball game. Indiana had led by double digits earlier in the half.
Leads are going to go. They're going to come and go in this one, Mike. They're just going to keep right on playing. Whoever has his ball at the end.
It's Whitney Thomas being guarded out deep by Andrea Walker, who's in the ballgame for the first time. 8 to shoot. Hard drive, nice feed to Thomas. Shot blocked by Walker, but a whistle blows. And a foul called on Andrea Walker.
I'd like to see that one again.
Well, Well, you will.
There it is. Got her on the way down, I guess.
Now, if you were coaching, you would not agree with that call,
No,
would you?
I would not. You know why? Because your player went in, she blocked with the inside hand, she was all ball. And when they came down a little bit, and again, I go back to what I talked about in the beginning of the show. If you're going to let the contact in the beginning, let it go.
Thomas only a 67% free throw, should have missed them both. So Indiana, as we mentioned, 9th in the conference in free throw shooting. They've struggled a little bit in that category. 1 of 4 so far. Here's Allen. Straight on jumper, no good. And it's deflected out of bounds by the Hoosiers.
Indiana is sitting back there almost in some type of a matchup where they're not chasing people, but the ball goes on those blocks. Trust me, they will draw a crowd, the Ohio State players. So they're forcing them to make the 15-footer. Ohio State has to step up and knock it down.
Star Allen will come out. Denzel Lavender back in. Stay tuned at halftime. The State Farm halftime report from our studios in Chicago. Mike Hall joined by Vera Jones there. Pump it down low to Walker. Kick out for Hallis. Rainbow three. Good. That's a 2. Got a foot on the line. It's a 1-point ball game.
You gotta love it. You run an inbounds play and end up with this.
Brown with a nice feed. Hoosiers push the tempo. Now they get the jumper. Good. Jory Davis has made a couple of big ones so far.
Right here on the inbounds.
She's got 6. Now steal and an offensive foul called on Roberson.
Heads up play by the freshman. Roberson was going to the basket.
Foul number 35.
Coach Jack doesn't like that one either.
She's in her 3rd season. Chance to have senior starters helping the Indiana program grow, and they're in a big one here. Bilcock from the corner, and the Buckeyes are back within 1, 28-27. Bilcock, the best three-point shooter in the Big Ten, at 50%. Brown launches back rim. Loose ball.
Ohio State's off to the races. They want to run.
So the Buckeyes to take the lead in the final minute. Here's Lavender.
That's exactly where Indiana doesn't want Lavender. That fake spin roll, that's a tough play to defend.
And Ohio State on a 14-4 run here. A chance to extend this 1-point advantage.
Indiana has to be able to calm down, not a problem, stay with it, score on their next possession.
Lavender in the double figures now has 11. Ohio State by 2.
Little pressure from Ohio State. And the Indiana players, they don't fold. They just keep playing. Thomas is going to take it in.
Triple teamed and she's fouled.
A good play. Good play by the senior. She took it right at Lavender, challenged her. Excellent play. You know, momentum's going the other way on you, and all of a sudden, here's your senior again, comes back, sets it up, takes it inside, and challenges her.
So Thomas, who missed her 2 free throws earlier, and that one rims in and out. So Indiana 1 of 5 on the line. Ohio State 6 of 8, and that's been the difference so far.
That free throw line's an extra offensive player for you.
Former high school volleyball star, and that time she knocks it down. So 30-29 Ohio State under 40 seconds. About a 7-second differential shot clock, game clock.
Let's see what Ohio State does if they take this down.
Alice keeps it, now gives up to Bilcock. And Ashley now. 12 to shoot. Work it outside of Brittany Johnson. Back to Hallis. 5. They're going to get one off quickly. And they get it to Lavender. Bails him out with a jumper. 6 seconds left. From the Hoosiers, they've got time.
Here it is.
Thomas fires. No! Off target. State comes behind to lead by 3 at the break.
You know what? Indiana, though, has had a great game plan for what they want to do. But as this goes in, second half will be interesting. It's all over again.
A lot of energy in the building. The Buckeye fans, their team under pressure, but they respond with a 17-5 run. Indiana trailing Ohio State 32-29 at half. Let's head right now to the Big Ten Network studios in Chicago. Mike Hall and Vera Jones, the State Farm halftime report.
Well, that's a pretty good battle for first place, huh? 3-point ball game at the half. Vera Jones and Mike Hall here. It was all Indiana for the majority of this first half. Then the Buckeyes went on a run. It was a 15-3 run to close out the half. How'd they do it?
You can't say enough about tempo. And this is a game where two teams clearly look like they're battling for first place. Indiana came out, and certainly the first 15 minutes really belonged to them. They pushed tempo, they attacked, and then they set the tone on defense as well. They backed it in on Lavender. It was very hard for her to get touches. The only way she did was in transition. After that last timeout, I think they figured that out. Ohio State started going into Lavender, but on the push. They pushed the ball, they got ahead on transition looks, and when they pushed in, they kicked back out. That changed the whole complexion of the game. They got a couple of really big threes. Trebilgott came in and landed some. Prehalis is unbelievable, fastest point guard in the Big Ten by far.
Lavender is second in the conference currently with career double-doubles. First is Whitney Thomas, who's again having another very good game. What did you see from her this first half?
I thought she was the impact player of the game thus far in the first half, because without her, I don't even think Indiana would have been in this game. She set the tone. She came out early and got the first few big baskets of the game. And the reason I'm so impressed, again, last year, this was not a Whitney Thomas shot shooting from the outside. And neither was this. With that many moves, more moves than U-Haul on the inside.
You mean U-Haul? You mean U-Haul.
Great defense. And again, the big three, this was just not part of her game a season ago. She definitely got in, and with that left hand, she attacked, and that's exactly what Coach Felicia Legette-Jack wants. She wants her players to take the open shot, but not just tentatively, attack the basket and create some things. And I think Whitney Houston,
sure,
if she's watching too,
why not?
Whitney Thomas did exactly that, of just getting in there and going after the easy basket.
Whitney Houston, great in the post. Girl has her hook shot is amazing. Almost as good as Whitney Thomas, who has 12 points after 20 minutes of action. And you think 12 points is good? Wait till you see what Kasheen Alexander did again. A triple-double today.
On eHarmony, the steps actually bring out who you are, not who you want people to think you are. It's an honest reflection of yourself. I found Karen, and it's just better than I could ever have imagined.
Review all your matches for free. eHarmony.com.
Hit the ice for hockey on the Big Ten Network. The rocket slap shots, the bone-crushing hits, the sensational saves, and the electrifying goals. Hockey in high def, only on the Big Ten Network.
Before the ball goes up, you have to watch the Auto Owners Insurance Tip-Off Show. Our experts offer their take on the day's big matchups.
That's why I love this game, because you never know who can beat who.
And tell you the keys to success for your school.
They understand if they run this system right, they'll get shots and they'll win games.
Plus, go behind the scenes and inside the locker room for exclusive features and interviews. The Auto Owners Insurance Tip-Off Show, Wednesday, only on the Big Ten Network.
Ready for this, Vera? Oh, yeah. Iowa and Penn State in crystal clear definition. This is Brianna O'Rourke for 3, and this is a good game. Tied at 68. We're off to overtime. It's 78-76 Iowa. Christy Smith. Somebody had her as the player of the week.
Okay, all right.
I don't remember who that was. Hawkeyes lead by 5, but with a minute to go, it's only a 2-point lead. Tyra Grant! We're tied at 81. Double overtime. Under 20 seconds remaining. Penn State down 2. Give it to Grant. Oh, look at that shot. It's 87 all. We're going to a third overtime. Hawkeyes bringing it up. And it's Kasheen Alexander. She was incredible with a triple-double. More on that in a sec. Hawks lead by 2. 3 minutes left in the third overtime. Wendy Ozdemore. 97-89 in triple OT. Look at that. 26 points, 21 boards, and 10 assists for Kasheen Alexander. She just had a triple-double 3 games ago. Her second triple-double in 4 games.
Kasheen the Machine. She's bought into that entire Obama motto of, yes, I can. If there's a utility player of the year, they don't give that award, but I do. It goes to Kasheen because she does it all. Her ability to score, especially in bunches when you least expect it. But mostly it's the defensive effort that she puts out. She's only 5'9", and she leads her team in rebounding and usually ends up the game-leading rebounder, especially in the really close games. There's nothing this kid can't do.
It was nearly 8 years from the time she had her first triple-double to the previous one that the Hawkeyes have ever had on the women's program. And it took her 2 weeks, and she got another one. That's just one of the handful of games going on in the Big Ten on the ladies' side. Northwestern taking on Purdue also earlier today. Lindsey Wisdom-Hilton. Boilers take a 12-point lead. Next possession, they're up 32-20, and here's Campbell in the post. Who's up 34-22. Now 13 minutes left in the game. More from Wisdom-Hilton, who ended with 13 points, and Purdue, pretty easy win, 70-44. Another easy win for the Wolverines over Wisconsin, 70-42. Stephanie Skirba with a near double-double, 11 and 9. Jess Minfield had 11 points. Hicks with 15 as well. The Badgers, nobody in double-digit scoring. As for this game, it is Ohio State just up 3 points against Indiana at home. So if anybody's going to make an adjustment, is it still the Buckeyes who need to?
Well, both teams have played very, very well. I thought it was a great first half. But if Ohio State needs to continue to get the win, they have to be able to hold on to the tempo they established in the last 5 minutes of this first half. Push, 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 and then once they do that, continue with the kick out. I thought the fact that Indiana was packing it in, keeping Lavender out of the game a little bit, forcing her to take high post shots, kind of changed what Ohio State wants to do. So if they penetrate and then kick it back out to their shooters, they're going to have a lot more opportunities for Lavender later on.
They've been holding her up, and yet she still has found a way to get 13 points in the first 20 minutes of this ball game. And that's why Ohio State holds on to a 3-point lead. There you see her with 2 of them. We'll go back out to Mike and Teresa for the second half right after this here on the Big Ten Network.
Wednesday, it's another huge doubleheader of conference action on the Big Ten Network. First, Jeff Peterson leads the Hawkeyes against Tom Pritchard and the Hoosiers. Then, the Big Ten title race heats up when Lawrence Westbrook and the Gophers battle Raymar Morgan and the Spartans in a showdown at the Breslin Center. Coverage starts with the Auto Owners Insurance Tip-Off Show Wednesday in high def, only on the Big Ten Network.
Being a freshman and getting third a year was a shock to me. It was a great honor, and I think it's something I have to live up to every year. I was in the 7th grade. Everybody just always told me I should play basketball because I was 6'1", and I had no clue what I was doing. I was lost, and I think that I grew a love for that because I didn't want to be lost anymore. So I worked hard at it and majorly improved, and I knew what great places basketball could take you to. Big life, big stage, Big Ten.
Every week, relive the drama on the Big Ten's greatest game. It's all heat. The legendary stars. The incredible slams. The amazing performances. And the unforgettable finishes. Catch all the great action only on the Big Ten Network.
Gymnastics on the Big Ten Network. Set your eyes on the grace and skill of the conference's top performers as they look to nail down victory for their schools in critical meets. All season long, only on the Big Ten Network. Log on to BigTenNetwork.com and register for the Big Ten Superfans program. Sign up and you can win tons of great prizes by watching the Big Ten Network. Show your passion. Become a Big Ten Superfan today.
Back here in Columbus, Ohio State leading 32-29 at halftime, a 17-4 run late, and the Buckeyes get the lead by 3 at the break. Mike Crispino, Teresa Grenson. Indiana played excellent basketball for about 15 minutes. The last 5 minutes, the Buckeyes stepped it up and they have a lead, but it's not what you'd call an extensive lead by any means.
No, Indiana's had a great game plan. Coach Jack has come in here. She has her players ready and trusting her to be able to play this game. They've tried to do some things, but at the same time, they've kept Ohio State off those inside blocks until later in that half. And you're going to see this is the great work of Indiana. They're knocking down threes. They're playing great defense. Again, they're going to kick it. Great extra pass. Knock the three down.
And Jory Davis, 3 of 6 from the field. Whitney Thomas, 5 of 10. So
that three right there silenced this crowd on a break.
Jamie Brown, 1 of 2, 3 of 7 for three-point range. And Chantel Lavender inside always creates something.
And then it was Star Allen. I thought she was key, Mike, in these. She had a couple of offensive rebounds that led to 2 straight baskets. And then once the point guard put this thing in Lavender's hand on the low block, school was out. And at the end of the half right there, Lavender knocks that down.
And Lavender, the game-high scorer with 13, 12 for Whitney Thomas. Indiana at 40%, out-rebounded by 3, 19-16. 11 turnovers by the Buckeyes, 10 points created off that by Indiana.
But it's negated at the foul line. Ohio State, Indiana has had a tough time at that foul line. They need to be able to make those shots and knock them down there tonight.
Ohio State 6 of 8 from the line. Indiana only 2 of 6. We'll be back the second half coming up in a moment. The Buckeyes facing a major challenge in Columbus.
It started out as a simple football cheer. Today, it has become more. Much more. A bond between students, teachers, and alumni. A proud union that makes the world a better place through research and service. On campus and around the world. It's an expression of community for Buckeyes everywhere.
Don't miss the Women's Hoops Showcase on the Big Ten Network. At 7 Eastern, Lisa Cornwell takes you inside the conference on the Big Ten Women's Show. At 7:30, get ready for the night's marquee matchup with the Big Ten Tip-Off Show. Then at 8, it's game time. 2 of the Big Ten's best square off when Alyssa DeHaan leads Michigan State against Emily Fox and the Gophers. And after the game, Big Ten Tonight has news and highlights. The Women's Hoops Showcase, tomorrow, only on the Big Ten Network. Before they shine on the field, they have to sign. Dave Revson, Jerry DiNardo, Glenn Mason, Chris Martin, and Howard Griffith break down the recruiting efforts for all 11 schools.
But what's been most impressive to me is the fact that they brought in so much speed across the board. When you talk about being able to come in and put your mark, your identity on a program, he's getting that done.
And talk to the coaches about the newest additions to their programs. The Football Signing Day Special, Wednesday, only on the Big Ten Network.
All new. It's Fox Reality Channel's mind-blowing original series, Solitary 3.0.
Is this safe?
9 new subjects, exhausted, drained, and determined to stay.
I'm not ready to leave. This is fascinating.
How far will they go to be the last one alone? All new Solitary 3.0. Go to foxreality.com for times. Only on Fox Reality Channel. You only have yourself to blame.
Welcome back to Columbus. Ohio State 32, Indiana 29. The Buckeyes ending the half on a 17-5 run. And Samantha Perales, the excellent freshman point guard. Teresa Gretz has really had a great start to her college career.
You know what? I'll tell you what. If you're in this league and you've got to play against this young woman for the next couple of years, God bless you. Because she is a winner. She can play the game. She can see the floor. And even though she's a freshman, I thought I saw a couple times out there tonight, Mike, where she got on her teammates. She wants them to step up, and I think they've responded to her. So that's a great compliment to a freshman.
Look at the band. It's kind of bright in here, so you have to have sunglasses. Well, I didn't bring mine. The keys to the game. We'll review those. How's it going?
Well, you were talking about who's tougher in the trenches. I'm looking more on those offensive boards. I think Indiana's gotten after it, especially on second shots. We talk about defense. Indiana, neither team's really shooting the ball really very, very well. But who's the superstar this afternoon? I like Allen on those offensive boards, but I also like the point guard.
Here's Perales cutting to her right. We're just underway. It's Ohio State in the home white. Indiana in the road red. The last 7 minutes belong to the Buckeyes.
They just took it at them.
As Indiana had opened up a double-digit lead at one point. Now they trail by 3 to start the second half. We'll see how much that impacts the Hoosiers here on the road. Perales turns it over.
Good pressure by Braun in there. She's not going to let the freshman loose. Perales is doing a great job, but Braun saying, you know what? I've been around this league a little while here.
So some three-quarter pressure by Chevelle Little, who's one of the outstanding defensive players in the Big Ten. And Indiana with 2 conference losses. Ohio State with 1. Here's Brown with a nice jab step fake down the lane. Missed the layup. Ball deflected out of bounds. And what a nice feed to Amber Jackson that time, but she couldn't get it to go.
Mike, I don't know. I think it's that basket down there. They have had a lot of little bunnies, both teams now.
It's true. There's just a lot of misses down there.
Must be something in the lady.
Well, a turnover here.
Perales tried to drop it off, but again, they come right back with the pressure. I like that in these players.
Here's Brown all the way to the basket. Banks it up and in. What a nice move. The runner
with the left hand.
Jamie Brown. She averages 12 a ball game.
She's a player. She is not going to quit. She's not going to roll over. She's going to play all the way to the end. They're not going to lose. The other team may score more points than they will, but they are not going to lose.
Brown's got 7 points. Marshfield, Wisconsin. There's Lavender, face-up jumper. She loves that spot, and she's able to hit it.
If that's a sign for the second half for Ohio State, that's not a good sign for Indiana.
Brown on a quick push. High arcing jumper, rimmed in and out. Lavender tips it to herself, then lost it. They say Indiana knocked it out of bounds.
I think at this point, Coach Jack's going to talk about that.
All season long, see the excitement of Big Ten basketball online with the BigTenNetwork.com's live game streaming. Every week, get top women's matchups free right on your computer screen. Go to BigTenNetwork.com to see when your school is on next. And an offensive foul whistles.
I think Ray Charles could have called that one. Star Allen lowered her shoulder and said, I'm coming here, honey.
Ohio State at home has won 71 of the last 81 games. In conference, 37 of 39. Here's Brown, nearly turned it over. Indiana quickly moving it, but now having trouble with it. Wilcock with a steal.
She gets it to Star out there.
Here's Little with a feed to Perales, and Indiana back to defend it.
Perales will just set her team back up again. Smart point guard.
Little wouldn't shoot it. She's not shooting it at all. Gives it to Lavender, and that's well short. Little got the rebound, and Jabilcock was standing out of bounds.
Indiana is daring Ohio State to take some of these shots. They are giving them those shots, and those Ohio State players are going to have to knock them down. Now they're on that baseline that Ohio State likes so much, but they just stepped over it. I didn't mean to do that.
So Indiana with a chance. They're down by 3 here. Haven't won here since 2002, 5 games.
This is a tough place to play for the opposing team.
Crowd on hand. Mike Crispino and Teresa Grentz with you on Super Bowl Sunday. That jumper well off target by Amber Jackson, who's been very quiet in this ball game. Jackson so far, 0 for 2, has not scored yet.
Thomas has been doing most of the damage in here for Indiana on the inside. She could use a little help, though.
Indiana has slowed down offensively in the last almost 10 minutes. They've only scored 7 points.
But right now, though, they're with this their work on the boards, they're able to keep Ohio State on defense for the full 30 seconds.
And a timeout called by
Tribblecock,
the Buckeyes.
Timeout, Ohio State.
Let's see if they're going to take the full timeout. I think they will. 16:29 remaining. Ohio State by 3, 34-31. It's a battle for Big Ten Conference supremacy.
How much sugar is in these energy drinks? Let's find out. While waiting, you should know. 5-Hour Energy contains 0 sugar and only 4 calories. Its blend of B vitamins and amino acids can help you feel awake, alert, and productive for hours without the crash or jitters. The answer is 12. Over 12 teaspoons of sugar and 200 calories in these energy drinks. 0 sugar and 4 calories in 5-Hour Energy. There's a reason people choose 5-Hour Energy 2.5 million times a week. 5-Hour Energy. Hours of energy now, no crash later.
We first talked on the phone 6.5 hours right into the early morning. We did that for some time, then we met.
And we just saw each other and instant connection. Snap.
Everything we do together is fun. Building the store together was a blast. There's this part of my life now that felt like she should have been there the whole time. And now, it doesn't matter about the past. She's here now. So we're going to hit it full force.
See how it feels to be matched based on compatibility. Review all your matches for free. eHarmony.com.
Every week, relive the drama on the Big Ten's greatest game. It's all heat. The legendary stars. The incredible slams. The amazing performances. And the unforgettable finishes. Catch all the great action only on the Big Ten Network.
Don't miss the Women's Hoops Showcase on the Big Ten Network. At 7 Eastern, Lisa Cornwell takes you inside the conference on the Big Ten Women's Show. At 7:30, get ready for the night's marquee matchup with the Big Ten Tip-Off Show. Then at 8, it's game time. 2 of the Big Ten's best square off when Alyssa DeHaan leads Michigan State against Emily Fox and the Gophers. And after the game, Big Ten Tonight has news and highlights. The Women's Hoops Showcase, tomorrow, only on the Big Ten Network.
On Friday of this past week, the basketball community took time out to pay their final respects to the great coach Kay Yow, who succumbed to her battle with cancer. And on the Ohio State staff is Coach Ed Baldwin, who was an assistant for Coach Kay Yow in the late 80s for a number of years. So to all those suffering and surviving with breast cancer, we salute and we send our very best to the North Carolina State family.
Ohio State and Indiana, a Big Ten matchup here in Columbus. Maria Moeller is in the ballgame. Where's number 14 for the Buckeyes? This is Ashley Tribblecock. Pull up 15-footer. Good. That's a big basket for Tribblecock, who's been quiet in this one. 36-31, Ohio State.
Ohio State really needed that one. Just builds that lead. And now this is where Indiana shows their poise.
On a hard drive, back shot, good! What a runner that time by Ashley Mills off the bench for Indiana, the freshman from Grand Prairie, Texas.
She's taken a lead from Jamie Bond in there.
Rosales feeds Chantel, and that one off the glass. Lavender missing, that's her favorite shot.
Great hustle by Kim Roberson. Braun knocked it off her foot, and Roberson dove back to save it. That's the kind of play of this Indiana team that they have this year. Coach Jack is a great group of kids. She's talked about them all the time. And again, we got a couple little steps.
Mills travels with it.
Right here.
And the turnover, number 8 for Indiana. 15 by Ohio State. We'll be back with more in a moment. Buckeyes lead it by 3.
How much sugar is in these energy drinks? Let's find out. While waiting, you should know, 5-Hour Energy contains 0 sugar and only 4 calories. Its blend of B vitamins and amino acids can help you feel awake, alert, and productive for hours without the crash or jitters. The answer is 12. Over 12 teaspoons of sugar and 200 calories in these energy drinks. 0 sugar and 4 calories in 5-Hour Energy. There's a reason people choose 5-Hour Energy 2.5 million times a week. 5-Hour Energy. Hours of energy now, no crash later.
Wednesday, it's another huge doubleheader of conference action on the Big Ten Network. First, Jeff Peterson leads the Hawkeyes against Tom Pritchard and the Hoosiers. Then, the Big Ten title race heats up when Lawrence Westbrook and the Gophers battle Raymar Morgan and the Spartans in a showdown at the Breslin Center. Coverage starts with the Auto Owners Insurance Tip-Off Show, Wednesday in high def, only on the Big Ten Network.
Every week, relive the drama on the Big Ten's greatest games. It's all heat. The legendary stars. The incredible slams. The amazing performances. And the unforgettable finishes. Catch all the great action only on the Big Ten Network.
Gymnastics on the Big Ten Network. Set your eyes on the grace and skill of the conference's top performers as they look to nail down victory for their schools in critical meets. All season long, only on the Big Ten Network. Stay connected all the time with Big Ten Network podcasts. Get exclusive access to the entire conference with a unique podcast devoted to all 11 universities. And with fresh daily and weekly updates, there's always something new. Download today at BigTenNetwork.com or through iTunes.
Welcome back to Columbus. Athletic Director Gene Smith here for the Ohio State-Indiana game, and the Buckeyes leading it by 3. Big Ten Network looking for its most passionate fans with Big Ten super fans. The Big Ten Network wants to reward its loyal viewers with chances to win great prizes like tickets to a Big Ten game, autographed memorabilia, electronics, and much more. Register now at BigTenNetwork.com. And fans love hustle on Super Bowl Sunday, and we just saw some great hustle by the Hoosiers.
There's no question. You know, look at this hustle. Roberson was on her way down the floor, comes back to make sure that she saves that ball. And this morning in the shoot-around, Coach Jack said, we're a blue-collar team. That is a blue-collar play right there. If they have an award, that's a blue-collar play right there. That kid gets it.
And interesting how the two coaches a little different on the shoot-around. Coach Jack got him up real early this morning. And Coach Foster around about 11 or so did the shoot-around for the Buckeyes for this 4 o'clock Eastern game.
There's somebody underneath that basket right there.
Morales feeds it to Lavender. Jump hook good. Nice feed.
And again, Morales, she finds her big person in there. She finds her center. Yeah, that's the one advantage of home court. You get to go when you want to shoot around. You make the visitors go when you want them to go. They get the early time slot.
So the Buckeyes by 5, 38-33. Here's Mells, who just hit a jumper, and that one try to bank it up. Jackson on the rebound. Nice play by Amber Jackson.
She couldn't have come up at a bigger time for Indiana right now with that offensive putback.
Jackson's first basket of the ballgame, first points of the ballgame. 38-35. For Bilcock being double-teamed in the corner and in traffic. And Maria Moeller had the ball deflected out of her hands. Three-point shooting in this one. Early on, it was Indiana able to score. 3 of 8, 2 of 4. Not a lot going on from the outside in this one.
Well, this is going to go back down to inside until somebody decides to hit a 3. The dribble penetration and the 3 are the most exciting plays of women's basketball. We don't have to do it.
This was a great feed that time to Star Allen, center up. And Star Allen having a good afternoon.
Right there in a high percentage area, knocks down that little 2-pointer.
She's got 10, and Ohio State leads by 5. Here's Brown. Out of down low to Jackson, faces up, spins twice, puts it up, no good. And Lavender has the rebound. Lavender 17 points, 4 rebounds. Knocked to Allen.
Great penetration. That's off.
And that is Ohio State's biggest lead.
And that is probably the exciting plays that we have in women's basketball is the dribble penetration and the three. This time they drop it off inside for a little layup underneath.
Here's Whitney Thomas out low and tied up by it. Buckeyes moving the ball well on offense.
And they worked on this this morning out of inbounds plays. What they want, where they want to hit it. There's one play, and then the other one that they're going to come right here. Penetration again, drop it off in, layups. They're scoring layups in high percentage areas. That's why they're leading in this game right now.
Shabilcock goes to the bench, 5 points, 3 assists. Brown put it up, and it got stuck up there.
She wanted to pass it. There was no one there. So she said, okay, let me put this thing up. And, of course,
now, my neighborhood, we got to go get a broom to get that thing.
No, like you got some hops. You can get up there and get that.
You haven't seen my game. 42-35, the Buckeyes with their biggest lead. Indiana led earlier by 9, and that one loose.
Hit the bottom
with it. On the break, running with Lavender. Lays it up, no good. Tipped up, no good. And loose. Kohler has it.
Lavender was able to cause enough of a problem for them to miss the layup, and now we're in the other way.
Lavender charging down the lane, a ball turned over, and that's been the problem for Ohio State here. They've had 11 turnovers. Roberson feeds Brown, doesn't shoot it. Down low to Thomas, they kick outside.
And again, Indiana's just banging on those offensive boards. You've got to give them credit. They will not concede the fact we missed it one and done.
10 offensive rebounds in this one by Indiana.
And there's a situation where they tried to put it back up. They missed the shot, but they drew the foul.
2 shots.
And this puts Kim Roberson on the line, a 75% shooter for senior from Indianapolis.
And for Ohio State, Andrea Walker replacing Star Allen.
He's got 3 fouls. She'll go to the bench. Andrea Walker in for her.
Star Allen has played very well. Might not show up in the stats, but she did some key things in that run in the first half to get them started, and has continued in the second half.
Allen with 12 points goes to the bench. Also has 9 rebounds. Here's Moeller down the baseline. A kick in the far corner to Little, who's back in the ball game. Lavender tied up by Brown, and possession arrow to Indiana.
There's a timeout on the floor.
Right off the free throw. And Ohio State takes it down, uses the baseline, but Lavender puts it on the floor. Indiana's been waiting for it. Should be a good situation when we come back.
Hi, may I help you?
Yes, I hear Progressive has lots of discounts on car insurance. Can I get in on that?
Are you a safe driver?
Yes.
Discount. Do you own a home?
Yes.
Discount. Are you gonna buy online?
Yes.
Discount. Isn't getting discounts great?
Yes.
There's no discount for agreeing with me.
Yeah, I got carried away.
It happens to me all the time.
Helping you save money. Now that's Progressive. Call or click today.
Hit the ice for hockey on the Big Ten Network. The rocket slap shots, the bone-crushing hits, the sensational saves, and the electrifying goals. Hockey in high def, only on the Big Ten Network.
BigTenNetwork.com. News, videos, highlights, and so much more. It's Big Ten Country online. Don't miss the Women's Hoops Showcase on the Big Ten Network. At 7 Eastern, Lisa Cornwell takes you inside the conference on the Big Ten Women's Show. At 7:30, get ready for the night's marquee matchup with the Big Ten Tip-Off Show. Then at 8, it's game time. 2 of the Big Ten's best square off when Alyssa DeHaan leads Michigan State against Emily Fox and the Gophers. And after the game, Big Ten Tonight has news and highlights. The Women's Hoops Showcase, tomorrow, only on the Big Ten Network. The one show that covers everything Big Ten. Big Ten Tonight. Get news from people dialed into the conference all week long.
This is a team who knows what it takes to win.
exclusive interviews,
We played really well, and we got to win, so I think it was good for our confidence.
and expert analysis of the games and matchups that matter to you.
I think you can see where this team can go in the Big Ten.
The only nightly sports show dedicated to the Big Ten. Big Ten Tonight, only on the Big Ten Network.
When we came out of it, we talk about inbounds plays underneath. It's very important. Ohio State worked this morning. They're looking for some plays inside. They missed this one right here, so they bring it back outside. Point guard has it here. What's going to happen is they're going to set up a screen right here, and the screener's going to slip it, run it. She's going right here. She sets the screen, comes off, and she slips the screen right in here. Here's the little pass. 4 defenders right over there on the ball. She's wide open. Well done.
Turnover. Little ahead to Lavender, running the floor to Prohalis. Feeds back. And at the end of the break, they get the bucket from Andrea Walker.
And again, Prohalis waited to see who she had with good opportunities, and she catches the trailer coming down the middle for the layup and the foul.
Ohio State now leads by 8. This is their biggest advantage.
This is where if you're a coach, Mike, and you look out on the floor and you see 21 White and you realize the kid is only a freshman, you think, oh my gosh, I've got to play against this kid for another 3 years.
She cannot convert the three-point play. Indiana is struggling from the field here. They made 3 of their last 12 field goals. And with 11 and a half to go, they're down by 8.
They've gotten some good looks. The ball has just not gone down for them.
This is Kim Roberson. On the perimeter. Long jumper by Roberson, front rim, chase down. And they call a traveling violation on Jory Davis.
They were aggressive. Both Roberson and Davison went after the ball. The offensive board fumbled it.
Points in the paint. Ohio State's had the advantage, 22 to 12. 9 minutes gone by here in the second half. Rhea Moeller down low. Lavender trying to face up, shoot the jumper. Instead, goes to the corner. Out and down low to her. 3 red jerseys all over Lavender, and she couldn't control it.
Indiana switched on it, did well on the switch, and then had a triple team waiting for them at the low post.
It's 30 minutes dedicated to the world of Big Ten women's athletics, the kind of coverage you just can't get anywhere else. The Big Ten Women's Show, Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern on the Big Ten Network. Little pull-up 18-footer straight on, and a good basket there by Jory Davis. Indiana hoping that gets them going.
They needed
back within 6. Davis has 10. Now a miss here.
Good box out by Indiana underneath the board.
Ball deflected loose in the hands of Ohio State. Andrea Walker had the steal. Gets it down low, working with Lavender. Air ball.
Just a little too much on that.
Lavender doesn't do much wrong. She's trying to tie Katie Smith, the quickest to 1,000 points in Ohio State history. And she is closing in. She needs 9. She's got 17 here this afternoon.
Lindsay, she just attacked the basket in there, went right by an Ohio State player. The Ohio State player couldn't believe she fouled her.
On the inbounds, they get it to Whitney Thomas, who's been quiet here in the second half. Thomas yet to score.
Ohio State has done a good job against her.
Brown trying to get it to the basket, couldn't do it. Jackson rebound, deflected, and a block shot.
And that's the advantage Ohio State has, to be able to go to their bench and bring a 6'4" off the bench, give you little things like block shots, go offensive rebound.
Indiana foul number 20, Whitney Lindsay, her first team foul number 2.
Whitney Lindsay called for the foul, her first, second on the team. So 1,000 points, 51 games. Quite a start to the career of Jantel Lavender, Cleveland, Ohio native. Here's Morales, long jumper, off target. Loose, Brown has it. Kick back to Brown, that's where she likes it out there. No, didn't get it to go. Lavender, 3 red jerseys, and a foul is called.
Indiana, they're doing a lot of good things. They just cannot convert. And they've played really well. Good game plan.
Ohio State leads the series played between these two 22-5. They split last year, though, an overtime loss by the Buckeyes at Bloomington. Ohio State trying to cement their spot in first in the conference. Only one loss so far. Indiana has 2.
This is a big game because there's so many important games to be played in February. And both these teams have 4 games on the road.
Bowler steps into a jumper well short. Out by Whitney Lindsay.
Lindsay's very quick. Quick hands, quick feet.
It's only a sophomore. This is a senior-laden team, so Lindsay's going to be around next year. Ashley Mells is a freshman. Jamie Brown is a junior. Everybody else virtually seniors.
There was just a size mismatch. Thomas tried to go to the basket, but Walker was just so much bigger.
Bowler misses short, and a foul called on Chevelle Little.
She did rake her.
3-point shooting for Ohio State, only 2 of 8 so far. Well, it's another Big Ten doubleheader Wednesday night. First, Iowa takes on Indiana, and 2 of the conference best square off. Minnesota takes on Michigan State Spartans for conference bragging rights coverage starting. The Auto Owners tip-off show Wednesday on the Big Ten Network.
Mike, Indiana's really they've got to get something going here. They need a bucket. Maybe that was it.
Now the troubles continue from the field. They're now 16 of 48, 33%. Indiana, they trail by 6.
They're in it. They just, well,
whoa, what a strong move. Right to the goal and a good finish.
Very, very well done.
And Chevelle Little's first basket. And a timeout called by Indiana. 7:31 remaining. The Buckeyes by 8. 46-38, a 30-second timeout called by Felicia Legette-Jack.
She's not happy right now. She definitely is not happy that Enterline let Little run to the basket like that. She's going to get in their players and tell them about it. Coach Foster, he's saying, okay, we're going to keep doing exactly what we've been doing. We've fought our way back in this game. We want to take good percentage shots.
Well, it's the first of 2 meetings. They'll get together again February 22nd in Bloomington.
They just take it inside. They know where they want to go. They're hitting the people. And that's right there. That is a great little hook. And again, high percentage area. You're going to win a lot of games if your team can shoot there and knock them down.
Now the Hoosiers trying to get something going offensively. They turn it over. Rajales in the open court.
She's looking, Mike. She's trying to find that open person. A little double team. This is wide open.
Lavender trying to find.
There's that baseline
down
pass
low.
again.
Couldn't get it to go.
Jim Foster's teams take great advantage of that.
First at St. Joe's, then Vanderbilt. Now here at Ohio State. 4 to shoot. Lavender. No, didn't catch iron either. Jackson has had a lot of trouble scoring the ball. Gets it back to Brown. Good, a 3-pointer.
Needed that. She was able to set her feet, use her legs. These kids are playing an awful lot. So they need that time, that little extra second and a half to set themselves and lift it high enough.
Ohio State by 5. Rajales pull-up jumper, and she's hacked. And by Whitney Lindsay with the foul. And Rajales will get a couple free throws when we return. Ohio State on top of the conference and on top of the game by 5 here in the second half.
Gymnastics on the Big Ten Network. Set your eyes on the grace and skill of the conference's top performers as they look to nail down victory for their schools in critical meets. All season long, only on the Big Ten Network.
We're all wondering about tomorrow. We have questions. We want answers. Today, more people than ever are turning to the Wall Street Journal. Get critical insight for $2.69 a week, 60% off. Call 800-240-9358 or go to trywsj.com.
Crispino and Teresa Gretz here courtside in Columbus. Before the game started, we said these two teams, number 1 and 2 offensively, but you used the word defense, and it seems to be part of what's happening for the Buckeyes. They've held Indiana to 5 for 20 shooting in the second half.
And they've taken Thomas out of the game. And Jackson's never really gotten started with it, puts all the pressure back on the guards, and they're able to do what they need to do.
So far, they've been able to do that in the second half. Still a long way to go. A 5-point lead. Indiana has been impressive here as a team on the rise in the conference.
They really have, and this is what we talked about earlier. Ohio State has the tradition. Even though they don't have a senior-laden team as Indiana does, these kids have been working for 4 years. They want to take it beyond the past of just playing games. They want to be able to win a championship. These seniors want to be able to leave an Indiana tradition for the future Hoosiers who will be playing in Bloomington.
Now, last year they were 18 and 15 as Perhalis misses another free throw. And the team, Ohio State 6 of 10 now. Perhalis 1 of 3 this afternoon, so a little unusual, and she missed both. But last year, Indiana 10 and 8 in the conference. This year, 8 and 2. That's their best start ever in conference play.
And again, I think that's a tribute to Felicia and her staff. They really have worked hard. They have these kids believing in their philosophy. This team is trusting coach, and that's important. And when they do that, they will fight as Indiana has done.
On the baseline move. Whoa! Andrew McGirt took a little bump, and the ball ended up in the first row. This
and you know what? That's a good call.
This is last year now. Indiana winning in overtime at home. Assembly Hall by 8. A little bit of controversy there. There was a late basket allowed. Point awarded. And Jamie Brown was a huge part of that. Led the way in scoring.
19. But today's a different day.
Having her double teamed, and that's what they're going to do, double team her. Get it to Perhalis. Double teaming her too. And Starr comes up with a loose ball.
I'm not quite sure how that got through because that was an assist from the Indiana player into Allen's hands. Today is her game. Hangs on to it, puts it in the basket, and gets fouled.
5th team foul on Indiana, so Starr Allen, who's now got 14.
She's had a big game today.
9 rebounds, make it 15. And the lead to 8. Biggest advantage for Ohio State. Nobody's led by double digits. Indiana led by 9 in the first half. Roberson drives, and the shot was partially blocked. It's loose. Little has it. And on the break, here come the Buckeyes. Perhalis fake. No, missed the layup.
And who was it? Allen.
Now she's got 10 rebounds.
She's got herself a double-double today. She got held. Robeson definitely thinks that she pushed off. I always like the way the players see it their way.
Well, of course.
It's always good to go in the film rooms with them, talk about it, and then show them.
Roberson is majoring in biotechnology, so she has a feel for the education part of all this, and an offensive foul call. It's on Jantel Lavender.
Ohio State's going to get a little bit of a trap. Indiana throws it.
Haley turn it over. Under 5 minutes to go. Brown with a nice feed and a whistle as Amber Jackson was trying to go up. I don't think it'll be a shooting foul.
And if we got Lavender caught on this one?
Team foul number 6.
6-team foul on Ohio State.
Will not drop.
Buckeyes have had 20 turnovers, second straight game. I know that is not something that Jim Foster teams are used to doing.
Well, they got started early.
They had 8 early turnovers.
They just threw that ball around like a hand grenade out there.
And Indiana's pressure defense, I think, really created some problems.
I thought they did some nice little looks.
Offensive foul on Lavender. Jackson, great job positionally that time.
Now, this is a situation we come in there, you line them up. I know Coach Foster talks about the offensive fouls all the time.
Now Brown and Indiana's got to find a way to score points here.
They need a couple right now.
4 minutes to go and change. They have not been scoring the ball. They had 29 at halftime. They've had 12 in the second half. And here's a traveling violation. Whitney Thomas, she's been quiet, been shut out in the second half. Timeout. Felicia Legette-Jack has an argument. Right now, her team trails by 8.
After a long discussion with my friends and my family, I've decided to sign with the Cleveland Browns, baby.
LeBron James is done in the sports world.
LeBron electrifies football.
Unbelievable. Yeah, #1. LeBron, you're gonna miss the bus. LeBron, wake up. Everybody's on the bus.
When I'm there for the best day of the week, State Farm's there.
Let's go.
The few, the proud, the Marines.
Wednesday, it's another huge doubleheader of conference action on the Big Ten Network. First, Jeff Peterson leads the Hawkeyes against Tom Pritchard and the Hoosiers. Then, the Big Ten title race heats up when Lawrence Westbrook and the Gophers battle Raymar Morgan and the Spartans in a showdown at the Breslin Center. Coverage starts with the Auto Owners Insurance Tip-Off Show, Wednesday in high def, only on the Big Ten Network.
This is the Big Ten Network.
Must-see TV tonight, Big Ten tonight. On the Big Ten Network, Ohio State leading here, 49-41. Back to our keys to the game. Well, Ohio State's winning the battle in the trenches, no question, and that word defense again coming into play.
It really is, and they've just, the second half, they've just really clamped it down. But the other thing is, I think Ohio State's size has worn down Indiana. If you're coaching in this league, everybody got a big kid. Well, now I think you need a couple big kids, and I think you need some athletes. Get yourself a point guard who can run your show.
Here's Perhalis slicing through the defense.
And that's that East Coast real low dribble it that they're famous for.
The Wilcock feeds to Perhalis, that's true. And Jim Foster was talking about that this morning at the shoot-around. Really likes that. Wilcock fires, no good. Left of the rim and the rebound Little. Ohio State taking some time off the clock with 3:20 left. They got 19 to shoot. Lavender to the cutting Allen. No. And here is the Hoosiers on offense. Brown, no good, long, and they continue to struggle from outside.
But right now, it's just the size of Ohio State. They've been able to run some players in and out. Allen's done a great job for him. Walker's been able to come in and give him some key minutes. And that's what's really important. But you've got to give the Indiana kids credit because, Mike, they have battled on every shot. The shot goes up. They do not just leak out down to the defensive end of the floor. They attack offensively on those boards. They're a tough team, and a real credit to Coach Jack and the coaching staff.
Indiana, though, has one field goal in the last 6.5 minutes. Roberson's fourth foul puts Star Allen on the line. And no good. It's deflected out of bounds by Chevelle Little.
Neither team shot really particularly well today from the free throw line.
That's 3 of 8 for Indiana and 7 of 13 by Ohio State.
And that's really the front end of the 101, so you don't get the other one. I always wanted to charge my players at graduation for missing those. Wait until after.
Long jumper, no good, and Ohio State getting every rebound, but they turn it over.
Indiana's back again. You got to give them credit.
Here's Thomas. She has not been able to score, and she gets hacked that time. 2 minutes, 39 seconds left. Still time, but boy, points are tough to come by.
Today, they really, 49-41. And these are two teams that score in the 60s.
It was, what, it was 32-29 at halftime, so.
It's not, the second half has been slow. Good defensive effort. A tribute to the coaches and what the staffs have done preparing the players.
And no good. Thomas shut out in the second half. We'll look back at this one if Indiana's unable to win it. Now a foul.
And Roberson's
Roberson, and she's out. So the senior, her final game in this arena, Kim Roberson, ends up with 3 points, 4 rebounds. And she adds an assist, 3 steals. Roberson, one of the best in the conference in that category.
Ohio State did a great job on the defensive end of switching their screens that Indiana set for them. A lot of times they had a bigger player on a smaller Indiana player or shooter, and that caused Indiana, I think, some problems here today.
Corrales has been way off on the line. Time running out on Indiana. They got to get something going here. Whitney Thomas. Ohio State's really extending that pressure. Brown fires, no.
Ohio State's very happy to let him do that.
Brown 4 of 14. She's 2 of 6 from 3-point range. Here's Trebilcock, and they'll take some more time off.
These teams have some great games coming up in the month of February. This thing's far from over. Ohio State has some tough away games.
Trebilcock got to shoot it now. Does shoot it. No. Front rim.
And Indiana's going to run.
Ashley Mells right to the basket. Can't convert.
Good offensive rebound.
Finally off the offensive glass. It's Jory Davis. 30-second timeout. 49-43. 6-point game with 1:28 left.
The shot goes up, and then right away, Indiana gets it, pushes it. They're not giving up anything. Shot goes up, and a solid rebound by their Indiana player, puts it back, draws the foul. You've got to really appreciate the effort of the Indiana team. They really have worked hard.
Well, for the last 4 seasons, Ohio State's been the kingpin in this conference. Last year tying co-defending champs, but you see an Indiana program coming on. You see Michigan State playing well. You see more depth developing in this conference.
Right, and you know that at Illinois, Gillette Law has recruited an excellent class in the top 5. You know that Penn State has recruited a class in the top 5. So as they gather their players and bring that along, we need those players in the Big Ten. We need those key players, those marquee players.
And Minnesota has had a couple of good wins here at Ohio State. And Minnesota also able to beat Indiana, so they're not far away either.
Cam Gordon has done a terrific job at Minnesota. Those kids play very, very hard. They, too, don't know the meaning of the word quit. So that's why I said, Mike, there's a lot of basketball yet to be played in this month of February. A lot of key games and a lot of key games on the road.
Iowa 12-7 overall. They played with Purdue 14-7. Star Allen having a great afternoon. 16 points.
No. Star Allen has played so well today.
And that one goes. So Ohio State, 8-point lead. Indiana's got a rush now. Here's Mills. Kicks.
They need to get this up.
Brown, bank, no. And Lavender has the rebound.
And they're just going to try and take the air out of it. Ohio State.
Minute 15 to go. Little can't handle it.
Coach Foster wants to tell his players exactly where the ball is so we don't turn it over down the stretch.
As Brown with a nice crossover move, feeds on the baseline. They can't get it to go, though. Indiana continues to struggle. They're 18 of 58 now. Loose ball. Lavender in the open court. Gives it up to Allen. All the way to the bucket, and she's fouled hard.
That's an interesting foul, Mike, right there.
Ashley Mills whistled.
I think Mills went after her. Yep. On the floor, not afraid to get hurt, not afraid to get those knees bunged up.
So Star Allen goes to the line again, and she's been able to connect. Allen there, 6 of 8. Lavender's made her 3. And Bilcock goes out.
She's played well today. She's been, and that's the thing. Jim Foster's teams have great understanding of their roles and what they need to do in the game.
Indiana's biggest, or Iowa State's biggest lead of the ball game, and that's thrown up from a long way out, well short.
It's going to go off Star and go back to Indiana. They're going to run an inbounds play here.
44 seconds remaining.
Big time shot.
Well, a three-pointer by Jory Davis makes it a 7-point ball game. 30-second timeout called. Off to Iowa. That's the next trip for Indiana. Then they're home to Illinois and Michigan State. They have road games at Wisconsin, at Northwestern, then hosting Ohio State and Michigan to wrap up the schedule. Thursday night, it's more Big Ten hoops action first. Penn State and Michigan in a men's game. Then the Spartans take on the Illini Women's Conference battle Thursday nights in HD on the Big Ten Network. Mike Crispino and Teresa Gretz here on Super Bowl Sunday afternoon game in Columbus. As Indiana had an early 9-point lead, about 8 minutes left in the first half, but Ohio State's been in command most of the second half.
Once they've made that run, Indiana just could not adjust to it. And again, I say it's because of the size of the Ohio State players and the depth they have.
And Whitney Thomas had a tremendous first half, 12 points, a senior, but she has not been able to score in the second half.
Well, you know, she was a topic of conversation on that chalkboard in the Coach Foster's locker room at halftime, what he wanted to do, what adjustments he wanted to make. Obviously, his players have seen most of the actions. They've defended that through the course of the year so far. They wanted them to step it up.
And Thomas had, in 6 career games against Ohio State, averaged 10.5 points and 9 rebounds. She had 12 in that first half, and one reason why Indiana opened up that 9-point advantage. She's been unable to get it going offensively. Star Allen, one of the stars of this one.
There is our superstar of the day on Super Sunday. She was big. These offensive rebounds, right there, that's size. I'm a big believer that you need those kinds of bodies in there. Big bodies with soft hands. And again, how she got this one, goes up, scores, gets fouled.
Well, with all the attention focused on Jantel Lavender, you got to believe that Star Allen can have more days like this from here on.
Absolutely. She is running, having a field day. A field day.
19 points, 12 rebounds, and the biggest lead of the ball game, 10 was the biggest, and a 9-point advantage here. Mills goes right to the basket, fouled. 30 seconds remaining, and this Indiana team relentless.
And Coach Foster's going, are you kidding me? You're stopping the clock, you're fouling them, let them shoot the ball.
Ashley Mills shooting 2.
Don't stop the clock.
And Mells has the first free throw. Ohio State last year 22-9. They were 13-5 in the conference. 17-3 right now, 8-1.
Jim really likes his team this year.
They've got a home game here with Purdue coming up in 4 days. Then they're on the road at Michigan State. That's going to be tough. At Iowa.
That'll be tough.
Home to Northwestern. On the road to Minnesota and Indiana. So Ohio State's got some tough contests coming up.
That's exactly what we said. This month of February is wide open. This is just one day here, and that's what I like with Indiana. They don't fold. They keep fighting down to the end. There's a lot more days to play basketball, and you've got to be able to do it day in and day out.
Well, the Buckeyes at home during the last 4 years, 65-3. They've won 109 games overall in the last 4 years, but their real problem has been the postseason. Long jumper, no good by Mells. Fight for the rebound. Enterline tied up, and let's see, it's a possession arrow? No, it's a foul. Lindsay Enterline, the freshman from Monroeville, Indiana, goes to the line.
I believe there's a regional here at the end of the year.
Enterline, no good, off the back rim.
Which should give Jim a chance to entertain some teams here in the NCAA.
Well, you'd have to believe the Big Ten champs, if they end up winning the conference championship, should have a chance to do that at least. 1 of 2 for Lindsay Enterline, 57-49, 20 seconds left. And a turnover. They get to Mells, missed the layup. And Star Allen comes up with it, and she's fouled.
Coach Jack is not happy. She thinks one of her players got fouled in there. But I want to tell you, Mike, I think that's that basket right there. That is a tough basket.
Now you sound like a coach.
Oh, what do you think? When you watch those, when you year in, year out, you watch those films, the films never change. It's always the same. You think maybe they're going to make it. Still doesn't go in.
Well, Amber Jackson had a tough day today. That was one of the problems for Indiana. She's averaging over 14 a game. She was 1 of 8 today. And just 2 points.
And then you take, and again, I'm going to go with the inside players. Ohio State had great play from Walker, particularly Starr, and they were able to battle. And they had that advantage, that physical advantage.
Star Allen again. Now over the 20-point mark, 21. Enterline down the baseline on the drive, put up a tough shot, and got it to go. Timeout called by Indiana with 6 seconds remaining, 59-51. Now, got to draw up an 8-point play. You have that in your playbook?
You know, I once had a coach, we were losing a game pretty badly. We called a timeout, and she said to me, what do you got, a 26-point play here? And I said to her, so where are you going to be working next year? But right here, Coach Jack, she's trying to teach her team. She's trying to take them to that next level. She's trying to get them through where they will play and play for championships. And that's what it's about.
Well, Jantel Lavender, 51 games into her collegiate career, double figures in every contest. She's done it again here. 17 points. 6th in the nation among active streaks for double-digit games. And Jim Foster, a few final words. Lavender went up against Thomas in this one. There's the double-double numbers in their careers. Lavender 27. She's just a sophomore, though. Remember that.
Just a sophomore. She's a sophomore playing in a program that has a tradition. Thomas is a senior now playing in a program who's trying to build that tradition.
Now, I guess that's as we get final seconds are going to tick off here, and Perales has it in the open court. And Ohio State will run out the final seconds, and they'll win it 59-51. Buckeyes stay on top of the Big Ten Conference with an 8-point win here in Columbus. 21 points for Star Allen, 17 for Jantel Lavender.
And you really have to take your hats off to Indiana. They came in here, they had a great game plan, they put it together. They just ran into some tough times, some tough shooting in that second half.
Jory Davis led the way with 50.
again, dealing with depression. I think
is going to take a seat on a court that was 5-4 in its last abortion decisions.
Judge Sotomayor has never ruled on the question.
It's TV magic and what actually works.
My microscope. Well, that's easy enough. You look through it and you turn a little knob.
TV Guide's gone sexy, and we're counting down
mega company for the internet age. And Toys R Us, the country's biggest toy retailer, is buying the legendary FAO Schwarz company, whose high-end toys...
The 60,000 feet of new rail being brought in was manufactured by L.B. Foster, a steel plant in Pennsylvania.
At least that's what your mama always told me. Now give me a hug before I get...